If you were to try and design like the perfect play and environment or a toy or something, you just never get close to what a beach is. And actually there was one thing specifically which made me like want to do this sketch, and then I started listing all the reasons why I think beaches are amazing for play. And actually, if you look at the sketch, which is basically somebody doing a sandcastle and a little kid there, and there's some rocks and the sea behind, I couldn't even fit all of the not even nearly any of the, I started labeling the individual aspects, and then one of them is like I just had to just keep writing words because there's so many good things. And the main bit, which I think still marvels when I think about it, is having a play space that gets tidied up by itself. You can go to a beach, and people do every day, and you make a right mess of it, and every morning you come back and it's like pristine and perfect and lovely again. And I just think like anything we could make, if it could do that, would be incredible. But there are so many other things about a beach which I also think is fun to talk about.
The Etch-a-Sketch, where you use the two twiddly knobs, left and right and up and down. You sketch it and then you shake it all and it all disappears. That's like the beach after every tide, isn't it?
It is. It's quite fun, I suppose, actually shaking it rather than letting the tide do it. But yeah,
maybe the inspiration for the Etch-a-Sketch was a beach.
Was a beach. But imagine if you could get all your toys out on the rug or the floor, assuming you're a parent, the kids' toys, and then just walk off, and then the next day it's just magically tidied up.
They're all up against the window on one side of the room.
This is like a line of them spreading across. Yeah.
Apart from that one plastic toy that floats really well, I don't know where that's gone. That one
down the hall somewhere. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it is a lovely observation, Jono, and it's for me going through the sketches, thinking right, what we're going to talk about this week. That was one. I was like, yeah, great. Let's talk about how great beaches are. Because there, as you say, there's so much going on, and I love the inspiration for you is being there with your family and that refresh every single day. But yeah, and as you try to get into the sketch, there's so much. I mean, I've got a list as long as my arm here about things that I could talk about on the beach and being on beaches. But what the first thing that struck me is that we probably tend to think of beaches mostly in the summer, right, when they're more populated, but the beaches are there 365 days a year. And I've really enjoyed being on beaches in the winter when it's some pretty dramatic weather going on. I think it's a great place to be.
Yeah. I was thinking that as well. Like, I definitely drew a summer scene there where it's like warm enough and you can do sandcastles and be in your trunks or whatever. But actually, some of my best memories of beaches are in the winter, or even like right after a storm or something like that, where you go to the beach and you just get blown around and there's giant waves and you
battered.
There's something, I don't know what it is, something quite cathartic about being battered by the elements. It's so bracing. Great. I was thinking one of the things it does is it makes it magical to like leave it as well. It has that feeling of like if you've been in countries where it's quite hard to get like a hot shower and then you come back to a hot shower, the hot shower just feels amazing. And if you go get battered at the beach by the wind and the spray, and then you come back into any warm room, you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
it just transforms your experience there as well. Yeah, so any season is great.
Tommy, what's your kind of take on beaches? What's your relationship with beaches?
Beaches. Like the two of you, I love beaches, and like John, I've been so lucky to be going down to Cornwall for most of my life and spending a huge amount of time on beaches. As you know, I'm a big fan of toys and kit. So for me, going to the beach usually means getting the VW camper van as close as possible to the beach, so we can get the two SUPs out, the cricket, racket, the speedmington, the 50 different sized balls of different things to play with. I even took the bounce net. I love taking that down because you can have the most incredible bounce back games. Now I've got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old as well. They're so fun to play with on the beach. But as Johnny said, there's something for everyone. And having said I always turn up with loads and loads of kit, the times that we don't, actually, you don't need anything when you turn up at a beach either, because there's stones of different sizes, there's rivers that you can dam and play with, there's rock pools, there's like what I've really learnt from being a parent is how kids are just entertained, because there's so much to life on the ground and around to entertain you. And I think we forget that as we become adults, that we lose kind of interest in those fascinating bugs that you might find underneath a rock, or the seaweed that you can flick at your brother or sister, or, you know, all that kind of stuff, which we potentially stop doing.
I don't know.
Depends who we're with, possibly.
The seaweed's a good observation. Yeah, I like that, and I'm a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to stuff in the sea, and I can get quite freaked out by seaweed if I feel it on my feet and stuff in the water. But once it's on the beach, I'm fine with that. I'll pick it up and chuck it about, no worries.
Chuck it at your mates. Yeah, I think it's a bit like it has. I was thinking, if you have like a beach with rock pools and things, for example,
yeah,
and you can go check out the rock pools, you have that magic like intrigue of being like a scientist, right? You're looking for, I think actually, like, genuinely, it's something that several people, including my wife, probably, like, one of the things that makes her want to be a biologist. I almost never see her happier than when she's like looking around rock pools and trying to find all this stuff, and you get that sort of intrigue that a scientist gets, or you've gone to, you know, finding a crab. I've a really good friend who did biology at university, and if I just picture him, the image I have is like 1 foot in a rock pool, like checking under a rock, and picking out a crab, and like that's amazing. And what a cool experience that is for a kid as well, isn't it? You can't do that at the park. Like, yeah, you just pull out a mole or something, or, you know, oh, look, here's a woodpecker. You know, it just doesn't happen. But beach has these incredible things, and, you know, a rock pool is like this contained thing that you can look in at your leisure, and there might be stuff in it, so that's quite exciting too. Yeah.
All music on this podcast series is sourced from the very talented Frank Cinelli, and you can find loads more tracks at frankcinelli.com.